Now, welcome back. If you just joined, this is Simply Showbiz right here on TV3. My name is Ms. G, and today we are talking a lot about music videos. You know, they say music videos don't have to be that, glamorous. Some people say, I believe in putting a lot into my music videos so that if you don't like my music, the video will appeal to you. And this is also because dancehall artist Shatta Wale claims that you don't need to shoot a video that competes with that of Jay-Z. And then music director, video director Nico Say doesn't agree. That became a huge conversation all through the week. We are here to do a summary of what has happened this week. And in the studio with me is a man who a lot of people tout as one who fronted or began the journey of music videos right here in Ghana. He's not new to this program. Abraham Ohinija is CEO of OM Studios. Great to have you, sir. All right, and also seated next to him is Ricky Tennessee. Ricky Tennessee works with 3 Music, and they had Nico Say, who went head-to-head with Shatta Wale, shoots most of the music videos. I think all of it that you saw at the 3 Music Awards earlier in April. Was it April? March. And so he has a lot to say about music video and the role that he played, even with the awards itself. And later on, Yao Skyface will be joining us on telephone. He's a cinematographer. He shot a lot of videos. And then Yaya, who is an artist, will share her opinion on what music videos might have done for her. I've seen her post almost every video she's featured in, from music to 3 Music Awards. All of them are being featured on her YouTube. Why does she do so? Is it too much to shoot a video by herself, or she prefers these live performances? You're welcome once again, gentlemen. I start with you. For you, who is a revolutionarist, or somebody who they say brought about, the revolution of music videos in this country. When you saw the news or heard the news, were you disappointed? Did you think that the hard work over the period is being questioned, or is being made to look like rubbish?
Unfortunately, I'm not really one on social media too much, so I haven't. In fact, this is new to me. I didn't know that Shatta Wale had said anything like that. But what I would say is that you need to understand the art form of making music videos. It is an art. It's an extension to the music. And it's even kind of like shifted into a new area of its own. It carries a lot for us outside of this country when you shoot a video, especially with people going on YouTube from all over. So it is important. Whether as to you should spend money or try and mimic is a different thing altogether. It's more of a creative choice, a creative decision. But what you need to understand as a director is that when you ask somebody to sit down for 3 minutes or 4 minutes and give you their time, you need to respect that time. You need to make sure that you're giving them something back for the time they're giving you. And if you don't do that, you probably lose that person forever. So, I mean, as a director, you need to keep that in mind when you make a video.
Is that to say that you're also breaking the bank? Because for a lot of people, what they understood by the comments he made is that don't break the bank, just to shoot a music video because you want it to look like a Jay-Z kind of, or meet the standard of Jay-Z's music video.
Funnily enough, I mean, you need to understand, and I've worked, I've worked in the UK, I've worked over here. Just because the video is done by an international artist doesn't necessarily mean it costs a lot of money. It's about creativity. What I would say on the financial side is that we need to respect the art and pay for the delivery of the art. That's something that needs to be done because artists need to develop. They need to grow. They need to become, build houses, raise families. And so they need to be paid for what they do. So that's fine, a fair wage for a fair job. But on the other hand, being a creative doesn't necessarily mean that, you see something that's been done by an international artist and you think, oh, I've got to do a similar thing, we've got to spend this amount of money and that kind of money. Not really. I mean, you can, there's a lot you can do without having to break the bank. Wale is right in one aspect, and Nico Say is also right in another aspect. You kind of have to toe the line in the middle. Get the right pay for the job you're doing, or the artists you pay, or the companies, the labels you pay a good wage for what it's being delivered. But you, the artist, must deliver a good job without necessarily thinking about how much money you're spending on a particular scene.
I'll come back to you, but quickly, let me come to you, Ricky. Like people said that this is a word of caution. It didn't merit the response that he got. Don't you think that he was just being, be careful you don't go boring, be careful you don't overspend, you know, in shooting music video just because you want to impress?
Yeah, but, you know, the commentary came out as quality. You know, it didn't sound like probably expensive, overly, you know, elaborate video. It came out as more because there had already been an earlier conversation of his type of videos. You know, as to whether it's too substandard or not for, you know, an artist of his caliber. So that was how people were looking at it. People now moved away from, are we speaking quality here? Are we speaking of, because yes, there are a lot of quality video out there that didn't cost as much as, you know, Jay-Z will shoot his videos. So if the conversation is narrowed towards quality and not expensive, because even if we should speak of expensive depends on your budget.
Yeah,
you know, because what the Nigerians use to shoot videos, I've heard conversations where they spend maybe 50K on a video and they'll tell you averagely, at least as an artist, you need to look a particular way, and at least if you're spending 20, 30K on a music video, it's fine. And it sounds huge for us. So it depends.
It's huge.
So you see, expensive depends on your background or where you're coming from. You know, but then again, we need to understand that, you know, the era now we are in is dominated heavily by visuals. We are in the visual game now. You know, the industry is heavily played on visuals. And you need to understand what image you want to create for yourself. Because mind you, it is also for brand equity, or, you know, to build brand equity, or, you know, for brand value. A particular kind of image you create about yourself speaks a lot, or tells people what value they should place on you. That's also another conversation, because if you look at Sarkodie, from day one, when he arrived, I mean, when he decided to go serious with his music, he's never got it wrong with his music videos. And when he had to sell his recent, or he had to do a business or a deal with a particular distribution agency with his recent album release,
pressure.
All these things factored into how he was able to even sell the album close to, I'm hearing it's close to $2 million. It is because of the value he's been able to create. So it is more or less like I said, equity. When you want to sell your brand, or you want someone to make an investment in your brand, all of these things are factors that will encourage anybody to want to give more or give little or less to, you know, paying attention to your brand. And that's why we consistently enforce or engage people that, guy, instead of rather maybe going to pay a particular amount to a particular media house to play a video, invest that much in the video, and trust me, it is easier for those people to call on your video to show, because it is content. It is very, very much of
that's for
value.
Networks who play music videos.
Exactly. No, not even networks who play music videos. It makes it even easier if your video goes viral for maybe.
But there's no guarantee that if I shoot a quality video, it will go viral.
You see, there's also, so that's what we don't understand. There's also a strategy to even making sure your video reaches, you know, the masses. Because like Uncle Ohinejan was saying, it's now global. It is not Ghana. The focus now is global. So if you're actually putting out a video, if you're actually putting out a material, you should be thinking beyond your people. What does that mean? You should be adding a lot more elements that, you know, meet the eye. That when someone from maybe Kenya, someone from South America watches the video, and it is even representing or speaking Ghana or Africa, they are able to connect, or they are able to appreciate and, you know, value whatever you're putting out. But it's something we really don't focus on, and that's what
we don't focus on. I want to quickly speak to your Skyface. He's on set, so I want to do this quickly so that he can go back to shooting. Thank you for joining us here. Are you amazed that people, especially someone like Shatta Wale, is concerned about the kind of music videos that is being shot by artists, and I want to use the word cautioning them not to shoot music videos or not to worry or their pockets about shooting music videos to match up a Jay-Z standard?
Okay, thank you for having me. I don't know the fact that but if he can come again, I don't think he spent about 50,000 on any music video in Ghana. I don't think he has.
You say he's not spent about 50,000 on any music video in Ghana?
No, he's not. I've been watching his videos. I talk to him personally. I know how much I charge him. I don't know, and I've not seen him spend about 50,000 Ghana on his videos.
But
if you are shooting video outside the country, that is nobody's problem. That's your decision to shoot outside the country. We have a lot of Nigerians coming in Ghana these days, and it's good for us, at least for the economy. So we have to start them to go to their own country and shoot. And then for us in Ghana, twice. And now why in the world? So I don't understand what he's saying, and I'm not like support that.
Let me understand how you received the message. Ricky was telling me that he used to look to, he sounded to a lot of people that it was an issue of quality and not about the money being spent. Now you're telling me that you don't think that he spends 50,000 on any of his videos, which is, I'm not sure how we can ascertain that. How did you receive the news? Do you think that he was talking about the quality of videos that are being shot or the amount paid to you directors as one who is directing a music video?
I think the fact is, whatever, how we do this, you're still talking about that. Because if you are talking about content, it's budget. If you are talking about quality, it's budget. We are shooting one. So that's a lot of cameras shooting better quality. But if you want to get, like, let's say, what the Nigerians are getting, you can't use a normal camera. You just need to go with what you are going with. No matter what you do, you won't get that quality. You just need to go with the direct and stuff. And if you come about the content, talk about content. If I think you want to portray, let's say, some history, maybe in James or something, you need to pay the local, pay everyone who come in the video. What he's doing, maybe because it's always doing something like street down thing, he gets away with it. But it's not that anywhere. You can't go to James Town and folks who come to shoot without paying them. You understand? Everybody who appears in your video, you still have to pay. So he just need to run away from the budget. But budget is budget. If you don't have a good budget, the video will definitely not look good.
Now, I get something from what you've been telling me. You keep making reference to the Nigerians. Is that to say that they are shooting better music videos than we are in Ghana?
Oh, they are definitely shooting better videos than Ghanaian musicians. Because it was your point. I remember when I came in the industry, I came to meet Uncle
Abraham Ohinijan.
Okay. And I remember those days, every argument the musicians will make against the Nigerians are, oh, Nigerians have better quality than you. That was the argument. And so when we started, that was all we're trying to achieve. Okay, let's invest in getting the right camera, let's invest in getting the right tools and stuff. And then it goes to when you were right away to Nigeria, you understand? Because it's not the artifact. But some of the video, the Ghanaian director, the video is taking 3 million views on YouTube right now. Chapter 1 is what the video, the Nigerian director, he claims to spend about 100,000. The video is 2 million views. And so maybe that's what is not getting this right. You understand? If you support your own support you. It's very simple.
Are you thinking by this inference from Shatawali that he's actually appealing to people to shoot mediocre videos?
Can you come in?
I'm saying that, do you think that is also an appeal for people to shoot substandard videos?
You see, if you were shooting standard quality videos, and he comes up and say, oh, don't lose all your money, then people are saying maybe they're in content, what he's talking about talks based on substandard videos. But he himself is always shooting substandard videos. We all know that he will never lose money in his videos. So when you come up something like this, then that is why I think people not to invest in their movie videos, which is fine. But another thing, if you let me meet a relative at the airport, and there's a lot of money, and you want to start that you're on from Ghana, the first place you go is your YouTube to check your wife. And I think we should let that mentality of saying, oh, we want to promote Ghana, so we have to have people smoking in Labadi, in the bushes, so that that's the street. That's not street. That's nothing. You understand? You have to even sell the country very well, sell the quarter very, very nice for people to come and be experiencing.
What's the budget like? I want to understand for a standard music video, if I was shooting with Yao Skyface, what would be the budget for me?
It's relative because I think we don't have a particular budget, but obviously the process will determine how much we will charge. Because if you have to do a music video, then you get the artist and then the background. Obviously, you have to come down on your pricing. If you have to do a music video, then you have about 20 people in the video. If you can call any person or any dancer or anybody, they also charge. You understand? So you have to put all those things together before you can give your invoice.
So, can you give me a range?
Oh, I think if you want to shoot a 9-minute video in Ghana, you should be looking around not less than 20,000 to around 70,000 Ghana.
20 to 70,000 Ghana cedis.
Yes, please.
Do we have musicians in Ghana who shoot on that kind of budget?
Yeah, a lot.
But yet we still hear people say, oh, I don't think anybody has spent up to even 20K shooting a music video.
Okay, I don't think maybe it would be right to mention names, but I think I did a video for an Indian artist in Ghana. He spent around 40 to 50,000.
Wow.
When I got a call, I had to make a budget, so I checked the YouTube streams of that video, and it's around 7 million views. You can check how much the person is going to make out of 7 million views. That's when you will make money back.
Wow.
That doesn't say every video you shoot definitely have to make even that. Even in a video of music videos, people are supposed to even make money from music videos. It was for promotion purposes only. But now YouTube is there, other platforms that you can put a music video and then people watch and money will come. So if you have to video, you just think about it like, okay, I'm trying to promote my brand, and then the money will come back anyways, one way or the other.
Thank you for joining us, Yao Skyface. We appreciate your time. And Yao Skyface is a cinematographer, shot a lot of video. He's been telling us what's on the ground because he's into that profession. Now, I want to, in your earlier submission, you told me that, oh, to some extent, Shatta was right. To another extent, you think that Nikose also had a point. At what point do you think that these two will meet with their submissions on the issues? Because you just heard Yao Skyface say that from somebody who shoots substandard videos, he has no right to tell people what his communication was.
You need to be careful about what you're referring to as substandard. What is the standard?
He says he's just on the streets and getting people.
There are lots of US videos that are shot like that. There are lots of videos from the ghettos in America that are shot like that. Sorry, can I take my mask off?
Yes, you can. There's so much distance between you and Ricky.
I wouldn't want to, get into this argument about this is substandard, this is standard. What I was saying earlier is that as an artist, and the artist itself, the musician's an artist, and you, the director, are an artist, you need to look at what you're doing. And I'll repeat, when you ask people to sit down for 3 minutes, 4 minutes to watch what you've done, you need to respect that. And if that requires creativity, put that in. If it requires a budget, put that in. That's where they need to meet. So if substandard means that he's not respecting the viewer, maybe the viewer likes the image of him in Jamestown or Nima with a bunch of boys. A lot of the Asaka videos are like that. Maybe that's the style. That's what they want. If you change it, you lose the audience. On the other hand, like for example, I've complained a lot that one of the problems, not that Nigerians shoot better videos than us. There was a time that we led the market, with Nigeria. We took, I personally was involved in the early 2000s when we had already shot Obra 4 and Tiny and those things. Nigerians had no videos like that. They didn't have any videos at that time, And when we went there to do Music Africa, they didn't have an industry. You can look it up, right?
But it looks like we've let our guards down.
Yeah, what
we're saying.
It's the effort the directors are willing to go to. What I find now is that it seems the directing over here is stuck in a certain area. It's people looking into camera, pretty girls, you know, half naked, you know, and that's about 70% of the videos. They are not pushing the boundaries. They're not innovating. You don't need to, and Shatawale said, you don't need to break the budget to innovate. On that, he's right. You don't need to break the budget. But you can do a really good job by pushing the boundary, by doing different kinds of video, adding to the music, because that's what you're going to do. The music has already got an audience. So when you do the video, you're going to bring extra audience. If you do a bad video for a good song, you lose audience for the song. You can do it. So
your definition of a good video is not the video vixens, you know, coming to shake their bum bum. We have cigarettes in there, we have alcohol in there, big cars, you know, spreading cash here and there. It has its place. It has its place in that. This is the music industry, so that has its place. We see it all over the world, from Bollywood right through to America. It has its place. We see it, but I get a lot of young directors that I interact with all the time, and I'm always showing them videos. And I show them British videos. I show them videos from Wiley. I show them videos from Stormzy, some of these videos. And they're not about money. They're about the creativity. Is that what we are lacking?
And that's where we need to look at. But on the back of that, if somebody's being creative, be willing to pay for it. Right. Be ready to try that. You know, oh, let's go here and do this, or let's do this shot, but I think it's going to work. As an artist, don't think, no, this is not really, I just want to, let's just do something in a corner here and that'll be fine. That's detrimental to your brand, and you may lose audience. So I think where they can come meet in the middle, I don't know. It's probably an argument of, I mean, if you insult somebody's videos, you're going to have problems. Saying that but as
one who has spearheaded this, do you think that David overreacted, you know?
Nicole?
Yes.
Well, he personally, I think he's one of the best directors in the country at the moment when it comes.
Maybe that's why he was really hurt, because you hardly heard Nicole speak. Yeah. You know, so for David to have been on with his phone and
I think he's an amazing director. I mean, he does videos that are at the same level as what you find out there. You know, some of and a best video isn't always the most expensive video. I could reference you to some, but they'll be so old because I'm such an old school person. So, and they're seen as some of the best videos. Aha, Take On Me, Sledgehammer, you know, Peter Gabriel. These videos are seminal videos in music video making. You know, they don't have to be crazy expensive. The creativity is the main thing.
Is the main thing. And a lot is happening on social media. You want to get there and see some of the tweets from Shatawale and maybe David's response to him as well. But in studio, I have the man who is a revolutionary when it comes to music videos, Abraham Mohinijan, CEO of OM Studios in studio, and also Ricky Tennessee, who works with 3 Music and Media Maven. They use a lot of Nikose's productions for the 3 Music, so that's why you're here. So having listened to your Sky fees and also the submission from Abraham, do you deduce, like I asked Abraham, that it is because, and I think you have already said that it's because of the standard that Shatta finds himself, that's why he will be appealing to people, you know, to put themselves there?
Yeah, well, I think, you know, when we talk of standards, international standards being, you know, the yardstick, then we actually inherit the whole business model, sorry, wrongly, because, you know, originally or professionally, and Uncle Abraham is here, he's worked, you know, with top talents across the world. Often, it's supposed to start with a treatment. If a sound is actually created, it's supposed, when there are even people who actually reach out, labels actually even reach out to people that, okay, Rihanna has a new record out. We want people to actually pitch treatment so we can actually scrutinize or go through and decide which director we want to actually work with. This is the budget we have, and this is what we are looking to do. So if it's really about standards, I think even from the start, we miss the plot. You know, how many directors even provide treatment for the talent? And that's where it begins, because I am supposed to paint a visual, or like paint a visual image of what the song should sound like. So obviously, the first point of call, I think we are already missing the business model by even failing to ask. When we worked with Nicosi, there were a lot of things we actually learned, you know, from, like I said, the treatment. You see the treatment and it tells you exactly what the visual is going to look like at every point. So even when he's filming, he's shooting, he won't miss the point. He won't miss a single part of the treatment, because at maybe 1.02 seconds, this is what is supposed to happen. And if you look at the treatment, exactly that is what is going to happen. This costs a lot to even put it together. You know, so even from the treatment process alone, it's expensive to actually put in a treatment. And then you begin to look at, you know, choreography, the art direction of it, styling, and all of those things. These are things a lot of the talents won't even pay for, won't even subscribe to. That I want a video. I said I want to go on the street and shoot it. That's all. Charlie, I have my idea. Let's go on the street. And if you're talking of standards, that is not a standard internationally. To even talk of the cost that comes with that standard that you're talking about. So I think a lot of the times we model the international standard wrongly, and it's something we should begin to look at. That if you want to meet the standard, don't just look at it and assume they went to the beach and they shot it, or it was a green screen and this was what happened. No, there's a whole art and science to a lot of the things that we see globally. So if we want to meet that standard, like Shatawale is saying, we need to go through the proper process. We need to go through the proper, you know, education of it before we can get it right, like, you know, the Jay-Z's and the likes.
Now, Abraham, finally, I want to find out from you if, when you know, sometimes people say it's just the music, like I spoke to your Skyface, he's the one directing, he's the one who is in charge of props, he's the one who is that what it's supposed to be?
No, no. Okay, so I haven't entirely left the industry. Okay. I'm actually doing something for Chairman Kwame.
Oh, wow. We can't wait to see you.
And what I realized is that a lot of the practice that young directors are sort of using, a lot of it stems from what I did very, very early on, which was a mistake. When I first came to this country, I did a bit of everything. I actually came here as an engineer. I shot, I edited. I would be on set arranging lights, and I did a bit of, you know, and I was at film school, so I was trying out everything. And people who were around me who picked up that, carried that on, because I was shooting videos earlier, so they assumed that the director does everything. He puts his hands in everything. That's not the practice. Recently, I decided that for my own personal growth, I would start a foundation. To train young people. So we have an OM Studios Arts Foundation.
Oh, wow.
We're going to try and give funding for young people to learn how to make short films. And in that process, I want to try and rearrange that, show them the real process of film making. Script, breakdown, casting, you know, getting the various departments in place, you know, and doing it properly. Because if you do it properly, the thing is, when you make a film, let's move away from music videos, but when you make a film, if you don't do it properly, it doesn't matter how good it is, it won't go international because it can't plug in properly. They'll ask you for certain things that you won't have. If you do it properly, it could be a fairly standard, basic film, but you would have all the elements that they need. They'll call you, oh, can you send this, can you send that, and you will have everything. So the process, or what I'm trying to do, is try and rearrange what I have been part of, and try and show young directors how to properly go about doing it. And so with Kwame's production, Love Lockdown, we did a very similar thing. And when you were talking about it, I smiled because a lot of my guys are like, oh, why are you going through all of this? We know what you want to do. I said, no. So there's like pages and pages of script. Yeah. You know, and breakdowns of everything, from this line to this line, what elements are needed, which people are we going to work with, locations, times. Even on the schedule, there is where the nearest hospital is. If somebody has an accident, you know, where you're going to park, where you go to the toilet. It all needs to be everything that needs to be, you know. So pre-production, when done well, leads to a good production. And it's something that over here, people overlook.
We tend to overlook.
You see a director, he'll pick up a camera. When he's done, he'll go and edit it. He will do the visual effects himself. And people assume that that's what directors do. No. It's an industry. If we did pay attention